It never ends. 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 Hello, what's up? I'm Brian here doing another video for you guys, and this time we're taking a look at another A-level wave of studio series that includes an Optimus Prime or Optimus Prime adjacent figure and a Bumblebee, which seems to be a running thread. I didn't realize that A-level was exclusive to Optimus and Bumblebee, but here we are again. Anyways, we already knew that we were getting these figures, not just from the listings, but Takara was teasing them. And so let's go ahead and jump right into it. This is the Orion Pax, obviously, based on Transformers One. So we've got the Optimus Prime, and what I thought was they're going to take that and remold it into the Orion Pax. And one of the key features is that this piece at the top here was separate from the bottom, so I thought, okay, they'll just change that part of the chest, couple of other things, and definitely the head sculpt, maybe give it a different weapon, and then re-release it as Orion Pax. I thought that was another reason why the smokestacks came off. But no, what seems to be going on is Orion Pax seems to be a brand new mold entirely. That's not the Optimus Prime. It's not reusing any of the parts, or at least I can't find any of the parts. Maybe the upper legs, but still, it seems to be very different. And you can almost not tell from the alt mode, because the truck mode is very similar. It does have some nice gold trim at the front here, and it does look a little more messy at the red parts on the side, and you could also tell because these smokestacks are a little bit smaller, but I think he's very close. Also, I wanted to point out that the wheels are red this time, which I think is a little off. I like the transparent blue used on the original toy. So the red's just a little too vibrant, especially when you add that to the blue legs and the gray thigh, or the gray arms. That's another key feature that I need to mention, is that the arms actually tuck into the toy. On the original Optimus Prime, they just slap to the side, but the lower arms are inside the toy for this one, and I think that's really cool. You can see that the legs pretty much transform in the same way, but you can attach the saw or the mining tool on the back, and that makes it feel more like it's intended to be an actual truck, you know, rather than just an alt mode, an alien alt mode that's vaguely truck-esque, you know. But yeah, I think it looks pretty good. Taking a look at the robot mode, and yeah, I think it looks a lot better than the Optimus Prime. The shoulder panels open up a little bit more to expose some of the detail. You see that gunmetal there. You do see the wheels on the arms, but again, I like the fact that the arms are actually inside the truck mode, so, you know, I'm not going to complain there. You can see this red hinge at the feet, and I think that's just glaring at me. It's just a little too bright compared to the rest, which should be dark blue. But the head sculpt looks very nice. You know, that definitely looks like Orion Pax. And then the chest. I'm not sure if that's the same piece or if they're doing something specifically, because you can see that the windows shrink. I know that there's a sliding joint on the chest, but it seems like it would go back or forth. So I'm curious to see exactly how this figure is going to transform. I do love this massive saw weapon. I was really hoping that they at least changed the weapon, so that's good. It's in gold this time, and I love the gunmetal and the silver used at the front there. And it definitely looks like it should spin, which is nice. Also, you can have him hold it from both hands, so that's nice. And then I also wanted to take a look at this other image that shows that the accessory can plug on the back. I also wanted to show off that the way the hinge moves for the hand, it actually fills it out pretty well. And then he also includes the map from the movie, and I think that's really awesome. That is a necessary accessory. I'm curious to see if they'll do a D16, and I think they should at some point, and if they'll have the same port to attach the map. But anyways, we gotta take a look at the Bumblebee. So this is going to be based on the Devastation game, but again, it's another G1-esque Bumblebee. Some people are not going to be that impressed by it because, oh no, we're getting another Bumblebee. This is becoming stale. Especially as of recently. I mean, we just got the Studio Series 86 Bumblebee. I know it's from a different continuity. This one's from the 86 movie, this one's from the game, but they're so similar. However, what I will say is that I think this Bumblebee might be a little better compared to that original toy. I don't mind this original toy. It definitely looks like that original Penny Racer, figure, especially with the thin limbs. But what I love about this is it looks like the classic toy for Bumblebee. Not the original classic toy. I'm talking about, I think it was like 2006. There was a Deluxe class Bumblebee that was basically the origins of what we get for Generations at this point. And it just had a very specific design and shape. And I'm so glad to see that similar design return. Now, obviously, that's from the game, but the game and this toy is very similar to that. You could definitely see from the headlights and how they're shaped. And then even the grilling, the specific design for that looks very similar to that classic toy. You can attach all the weapons, and I like the cel-shaded window, but with so much of this bright yellow, it doesn't really blend. Same thing with the silver at the front, but I'm okay with it. Taking a look at the robot mode. So, again, I love what they're doing here. They feel like they filled out the Bumblebee a little bit better compared to that 86 toy. Because you can see that the front shins have some of the paneling, which I think looks very nice. And again, reminds me of that classics Bumblebee toy. I do like the shaping of the body. It doesn't look too bulky, but, it bulks out enough. And then the hips add a little bit of yellow, which I think breaks up the upper legs quite a bit. So, I do like that. I've already complimented the upper arms and how it doesn't have that indent, that weird squarish indent from the 86 toy, so they actually smoothed it out. That's pretty good. The head sculpt looks fine. One thing that I really do not like, despite the fact that I like that he's got multiple accessories, he's got the 2 blasters, which are the pretty iconic G1 blasters, and then he's also got an additional blaster that you can attach to the back. Obviously, he can use it, but what I don't like is how hollow it is. The blaster that's stored on the back in these images, that's fine, because at least it's underneath. But then you take a look at these guns, and it's hollow on the side. It's completely blank. It's completely caved in, and I do not think that looks good whatsoever. Honestly, I would just prefer him having one of the blasters if that meant that they could fill this out. But yeah, all it has is the tab on the side. Everything else is just scraped, and it's nothing, I could put stuffing in it for the holidays. And then, yeah, the head, I feel like with the yellow on the body, I feel like it blends too much in some of these images. You can't really pinpoint what the helmet is exactly. I mean, you can see the horns here, but the rest of the helmet just kind of sinks into all that yellow. So, despite my problems with it, I think it is a better shaped Bumblebee. I just don't like the blasters. I think the yellow is a little too bright. Maybe it should have had some darker elements around the head or the neck area, but otherwise, I think it looks pretty cool. I like the Orion Pax too. I definitely want to get that. I've been trying to get all the Transformers One characters. So with that out of the way, what do you guys think? Please comment below. Let me know. Please like, comment, share, subscribe to all those fun doodads. And we'll see you guys next time.